Hey, Two Cities fam, thanks for hanging out with me for a few minutes today. I just thought I'd jump on and give you an update to the Give, Serve, Love 100 campaign challenge, whatever you want to call it. Again, my name is Mike. I'm the lead pastor of Two Cities. You should know that because you're in this group. However, I may be posting this to our YouTube and sending it out in an email later, so I want to make sure I do a proper introduction because you never know who might be watching. I wanted to jump on here, like I said, and give you a quick update, but I got to explain what the update is for. So the Give, Love, Serve 100 challenge is an extension of our end of year challenge that we gave at the end of the year. So we raised some money for some local nonprofits, but now we're not raising money, we're raising acts of love. So what we've done is we've challenged our church to do 100 acts of love in our community or anywhere they can, anywhere they have reach around the world, to do for others, right? To love others through action. And so we've challenged us to do and report back at least 100 acts of love as a church. Now, I've said this before, we're a great church, you guys are great people, and I believe we're going to do well over 1,000 acts of love in January. I believe you're probably doing, many acts of love every day, but I want you to report some of those back so that we can encourage each other and spur each other on. Now, today's verse that we posted online is Hebrews 10:24. And let me just read it to you because I think this helps us kind of get a frame of mind. Hold on just a second. A frame of mind for what we're talking about. Okay. Hebrews 10:24, and let us consider how we may spur one another on toward love and good deeds. So part of our spurring on one another is encouraging one another through sharing what God is doing through us. Not that we're doing it, but God is doing it through us for the sake of others. So that's what we're doing. And some of you may keep reading and you're like, okay, and verse 25 says, let us not give up meeting together as some are in the habit of doing, but let us encourage one another, and all the more as you see the day approaching, the day of salvation, the day of judgment approaching. It's never been closer than it is right now, which you can say tomorrow and the day after that and the day after that, because it's true for every day. But I want to just hit on that because a lot of people will take that out of context and say any church that's meeting virtually has given up meeting together. That is not true. What the context of the scripture is that these people were kind of giving up hope and they were giving up purpose for the church. And so we have definitely not doing that. We're digging in and we're creating a bigger impact because of what you're doing. So part of us creating a bigger impact in our community is loving other people. So let's get to it. Our current update is 28 reported acts of love. Now, I've got some things that I plan to do this month that will be acts of love that I do for others. I certainly want to encourage you to do the same for other people. And so as you do those things, report back, and then also report back anything that God has done through that. Maybe it changes a heart, a relationship, restoration happens, something happens that's good, that changes someone's life or your life. So let's just read a couple of these things that people have reported. Okay, the Sittons report, Matt and Liz Sitton report that they both each called their families to see how they're holding up amid the current COVID restrictions. And they report back that all is good and they're blessed. And so just taking the time to call someone you love, an act of love, right? To let them know that they're cared about. How about, let's see, let me expand some of these comments here. Cleaned out, Amy Bolton says, cleaned out the closets and made clothing donations this week. We did that too. We gave away some stuff this week. How about checked in on a pregnant neighbor with a toddler, excuse me, and brought her a meal to help out on a difficult day. Again, an act of love. When you're supporting people through their difficult times, that's an act of love. Dropped off a treat for our neighbors who were quarantining due to possible exposure. Thankfully, they're now clear. Awesome. Donated gently used baby toys. Yes. Molly Marquez says Joe donated his time to do a training for a low-income school last week. And she says, I mailed some just because notes to a few people who needed a little pick-me-up. Fantastic. Carrie Tinkin says, I'm taking some homemade soup to a friend who has health issues And Charlewall says, thank you card and gift to a colleague. Once again, these are not gigantic things, and they don't have to be gigantic things, but they are things that we ought to be doing all the time to encourage each other and love one another. They can be larger things, and I believe some of you are doing some larger things that maybe you don't feel comfortable sharing. That's okay. If you would just tell us that they're happening, that'd be good too. Let me just refresh this and make sure I'm still recording in live, because I froze on my end. Let's see. Yep, still good. So anyway, those are some of the acts of love that people have been doing. I've heard of some other stories as well, and I think we're going to hit this goal. So 28 out of 100, and what are we on, day 13? So come on, let's kick it into high gear. Let's get going. Let's get the momentum going on this. Please report back how you're being loving towards your neighbor and your enemy, as I talked about on Sunday. The people who you don't agree with or don't agree with you, the people who you typically would not hang out with, how are you loving those people as well? How are you showing them that they're that God loves them, that He created them, that He sacrificed for them, and they have value? How are you doing that? Okay, so a couple other things just real quick wanted to share with you. I want to focus more on building some more community this year in 2021. And so part of that is creating more opportunities for you to connect virtually or otherwise as opportunity presents itself. And so we have a couple of things that are coming up, most likely. These are things in development, but I want you to be aware, and I want you to let me know if you're interested. So the first thing is, Matt and Liz Sitton are thinking about leading a virtual Financial Peace University class. So it would be over like Zoom or something like that. And it's a way for you to learn how to deal with your finances. And they said, in their own words, that if they had not had the training they had through Financial Peace University like a year and a half ago, or however long ago it was that we did that, that this year would have been a disaster for them. That 2020, or last year, 2020 would have been a disaster for them, because Liz lost her job and they had a lot of decisions to make because of that. And they had the ability to make good decisions because they had all this wisdom from this course. And so I want to encourage you, if you would like to know a biblical way to handle your finances, it will transform your life, and it will protect you from catastrophe if you'll follow the principles. My wife and I, we've taken it twice now, and let me tell you, the second time around stuck more than the first. And we are just a couple of months away from that whole debt snowball thing. You know, you pay off your cars and all that stuff. We were able last year, from our tax returns, we were able to pay off a big chunk of stuff. And then this year, we're going to pay off everything but the house within just like 3 or 4 months here. And I'm super excited to be there, because then you basically give yourself a raise, and we'll start on the next steps of the plan. So anyway, I'm super excited about that. I believe in it, and I think you would benefit from it as well. Also, there's a possibility of a new community group that probably meets on Zoom, at least to start, aimed at people with young kids. So maybe babies, maybe pregnant, maybe babies, maybe up to like TK or kindergarten or first grade or something like that. But in that phase of life, there's a couple that's thinking about leading a group of people in that phase of life. So if you're interested in that, and I don't even know what the frequency would be, I don't know how often they would meet, but if you're interested in that, let us know, so that we can encourage those people considering leadership of that yes, there are some people that would like to be a part of that. I continue to be blessed by our Zoom group that meets on Thursday nights. I love it. We're in a daily text conversation of encouragement and prayer, and I want that for you. I want you to have people who have your back, who will check in on you, who will pray for you, who will provide accountability, belonging, and care. That's my hope for you, because we're not just a content machine. We don't just put out services on Sunday. We want to create community, and both those things we want to center on Christ. So anyway, that's my update for today. If you're watching this later, you can still comment. I'll see it. If you watch it on YouTube, you could comment. You can email me at hello@TwoCities.Church if you want more information. But I'm super excited to continue on with this series on Sunday. And I wear this hat to promote the Fresno Mission. Okay, the Fresno Mission. I would love for you to check them out and see what they're up to and see how you can get involved with them as well. All right, that's it for me for now. God bless you. I'll see you in the next one.